Welcome back. BRICS Ministers of Education have signed a declaration to address 21st century challenges and opportunities, we hope, regarding the fourth industrial revolution, hosted by the Department of Higher Education and Training. The theme for this year's meeting was Deepening BRICS Education Partnerships and Exchanges, also reflecting on the successes and challenges related to earlier educational commitments made by BRICS countries. Of course, we are part of that grouping. Higher Education Minister Naledi Pandor attended the meeting in Cape Town yesterday. She joins us now from Polokwane, I believe. Minister Pandor, thank you for being with us. First question, if we talk about the fourth industrial revolution, we talk about gearing up youngsters for technological changes, a lot of tech training there. I know that you were talking about TVET colleges, and it just seems like we're not getting far with those. The former statistician general saying young people are entering them, coming out, not getting jobs, not having the skills required. What's happening? How do we change it?
Well, one of the things that we have to do is modernize our TVET college sector, ensure that they have appropriate facilities, and of course infuse the technology that all of us are talking about. I think we tend to complicate the issue of technology because we can use smartphones. We should be having media laboratories in all our institutions. If we teach design, we should be using computational facilities. So I think it is possible to have a fundamental change and to actually offer new opportunities to young people. It's happening in some of our institutions, but much more needs to be done.
And you've been talking about public-private partnerships. So does that mean we don't give up on public institutions at all, but we look at ways to work together?
Well, one of the things we absolutely must do in South Africa is our public institutions should have collaboration with the private sector, because if you don't have links with industry and you're training artisans and training in occupational skills, you're not going to get the levels of take-up that you need. So one of the things I'm working hard at is to build these relationships and ensure as we train young people, we already have a path into industry for them.
Minister, you're at the coalface now. In your portfolio, what is your diagnosis? Because as South Africa, a lot of taxpayers know we spend the lion's share on education. There's no dividends for that. Well, very little. When you look at our literacy rates, our numeracy amongst young people, what is the problem now that you've been there for a while?
Well, firstly, Francis, let me differ with you. We can never say there's no dividend to education. It's the absolute key to development and to changing the lives of our communities, and in particular young people. What we need to do is understand industry far better and establish links between industry and education establishments. We are seeing improvements in literacy and numeracy. Of course, much more needs to be done, but there is progress nevertheless. Also, I think we need to ditch this myth that if you have a degree, you don't have opportunities either for entrepreneurship or employment. The employment statistics are not at the level we want them, but if you have a higher education, you stand a far better chance of achieving employment or indeed starting your own enterprise. So I really differ with the notion that education might not be of value. It is a strategic intervention that our government is correctly investing in. We must up the quality, we must modernize our offerings, we should be far more attuned to economic developments and prospects in technology, but we can never ever neglect to offer all our young people the opportunity for education.
No, Of course, education is vital. If I can go back then to what this former Statistician General was saying, that our TVET colleges are not working. Now we're talking about possible public-private partnerships, but they're not working, Minister. Do you agree? And what do we do urgently to change that? Because you're saying not everyone needs a university degree, but they need then a technical qualification that gets them somewhere.
Well, Francis, I'm involved in the process of altering the character of our TVET colleges. They've not been the perfect sector, but we have several among them that are really excellent, whose young people find opportunities in industry and in a range of sectors already. So the dismal statements by the former Statistician General are not proven by the reality of many of our institutions. And my job is to ensure that I lift the quality, that I have proper workshops, that I have strong relations with industry, that I diversify the program offerings, that I develop specialization, as I have announced recently. So I'm working hard to ensure that our institutions are responsive, are of high quality, and offer our young people a real opportunity. And I fundamentally disagree with the conclusions that have been referred to by yourself. I believe that one of the weaknesses has been the inadequacy of partnerships, in particular with industry, and secondly with the private sector. We are working on that, we are reversing that negative, but it's not true that all young people from TVET colleges do not enjoy quality opportunities.
What can we learn from the BRICS, the fellow BRICS countries? You were at that gathering. Is this something ceremonial, or could something real and tangible come out of that?
No, absolutely. We have tangible partnerships. We've identified a number of thematic areas in which we're advancing collaboration in postgraduate training and postgraduate research projects. Our institutions are working together. We have 12 institutions per country collaborating in what we call the Network Universities Initiative. And this is a BRICS undertaking which is really showing very, very significant promise. We must build on that and take up many more postgraduate opportunities for young South African students so that we up the numbers at master's and PhD level. In the TVET sector, we must seek to mirror the model that Brazil uses, where before you even get into the college, they already have a partnership for apprenticeship with an industry. So the model must change. And the colleges of specialization that I have announced in February are part of that responsiveness. But it's only 26, so it's a beginning for South Africa. We'd like all 50 colleges to have such programs within them, but we will increase through mastering the pilot initiatives that we have underway.
All right, we appreciate your time this evening. That was Minister of Higher Education, Naledi Pandor.